Hello and welcome to this Clear Sky Explainer video. In this video, we will break down the technical aspects of engine failure during takeoff. The ground crew clears the area, runway lights guide the way, and the pilots advance the throttles to reach the required speed for liftoff. This phase is critical as the engines are operating at maximum needed thrust and the aircraft is committed to achieving takeoff speed. If an engine failure occurs during this stage, it is considered one of the most challenging situations in aviation. An engine failure may be indicated by abnormal sounds, loss of thrust, or warning lights in the cockpit. The pilots will immediately recognize the change in engine performance. At this point, pilots follow established procedures based on their training and the aircraft's checklist. They must quickly decide whether to abort the takeoff or continue, depending on the aircraft's speed and runway remaining. V1, the decision speed, is a specific speed calculated before each takeoff based on aircraft weight, runway length, and environmental conditions. It marks the speed by which the pilot must decide whether to continue or abort the takeoff. If an engine fails before reaching V1, the pilot can reject the takeoff and stop the aircraft within the available runway. If the engine failure occurs at or after V1, the takeoff must be continued even with a failed engine. The choice to abort or continue is determined by procedures and the aircraft's performance data. Pilots are trained to follow established protocols and use their knowledge of the aircraft's systems. Each decision is made using technical data and standard operating procedures to ensure safety. Training enables pilots to efficiently process information from instruments and warning systems. They evaluate the aircraft's weight and balance, which affect performance and control. The available runway length is checked to determine if there is enough distance to safely abort or continue the takeoff. Weather conditions, such as wind, rain, or low visibility, are analyzed for their impact on aircraft performance. Pilots consult performance charts and manuals or their electronic flight bag to calculate whether the aircraft can climb safely with one engine inoperative. They verify if the remaining runway is sufficient for a safe takeoff or rejected takeoff. The presence of obstacles near the runway or along the departure path is also considered. Pilots assess how weather, including wind and precipitation, may affect the aircraft's ability to climb. All these technical factors are evaluated rapidly to make the safest possible decision during an engine failure on takeoff. Let's assume you've decided to continue the takeoff after an engine failure. With one engine inoperative, you must follow established procedures to maintain control and performance. The first goal is for the aircraft to reach the required screen height, 35 feet on a dry runway or 15 feet on a wet runway. A screen height is the minimum height at the end of the takeoff distance. From the screen height, the climb out is divided into 4 segments. Segment 1 extends from the screen height to the point where the gear is retracted at a constant single-engine safety speed, V2. Segment 2 extends from the end of Segment 1 to a gross height of between at least 400 feet or, as described in the single-engine procedure, with a constant V2 speed. Segment 3, once a safe altitude, accelerate to the clean speed or the optimal speed for clean single-engine climb and retract the flaps on schedule. Segment 4. With flaps retracted and proper speed established, continue climbing to a safe altitude of at least 1,500 feet or usually published MSA. This is done with maximum continuous thrust. Each segment requires precise control inputs and continuous monitoring to ensure a safe climb out after engine failure. The climb gradient is the ratio of altitude gained to horizontal distance traveled expressed as a percentage. Think of it as how steeply your aircraft is climbing relative to the ground. Why does this matter? Performance charts use climb gradient to ensure your aircraft can safely clear obstacles after takeoff, especially at max weight or high-altitude airports. For example, the minimum climb gradient required on a single engine is 2.4% for twin-engine commercial aircraft under FAA and EASA rules. If possible, increasing the V2 speed improves climb performance by providing a higher safety margin and better obstacle clearance. But it also requires more runway length for takeoff. This technique is called improved climb, and in performance jargon, it gives you a better climb gradient in the second segment. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with your fellow aviators or people interested in aviation. Until next time, clear skies and happy landing.